Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a bracelet today, and I'm going to use some of the beads and one of the little toggle clasps here that came in the most recent GGC's treasure bag that I got. It's the one called Winter Wonders that she just released, I guess a couple of weeks ago. I'll put a link in the corner of this video and in the description box below to the video where I opened this bag and showed all the incredibly beautiful beads and findings that are in here. It's just amazing how many beads and findings are in this bag. It's such an incredible value, and the beads are so beautiful and they all go so well together. I just don't know how she does it. I get so excited when I open these bags. When I opened this one, after I posted the video, I had a lady comment and asked me if I was crying at one point. I wasn't, but apparently I was so excited I sounded like I was crying at one point. And I told her I wasn't, but these beads are so beautiful that they would bring one to tears, but I wasn't crying. But they're just so beautiful. I just can't get over how beautiful they are. This is the second one of these that I've gotten. I got one earlier in the year. I think it was in January. And then I got this one. And it's just amazing. It's just an amazing value. And they're just so beautiful. So apparently I was so excited I sounded like I was crying. But this is not a subscription that you can sign up for. She just puts these out maybe once every other month or so, I think. And there's just a limited number of them, so once they're gone, and they sell out really, really quickly because they're such an incredible value and they're so beautiful. But she does have an email notification list. If you go to her website, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below, you can sign up for her email notifications, and when she's about to release her next bag, about 2 or 3 days before, she'll send everybody a notification, an email, letting you know that she's about to release a bag so that you can be on alert and know that when she's going to release a bag, and hopefully you can get your hands on one if you want to. I've made one bracelet here because I had to figure out what I wanted to do, and then I'm going to make another one, but instead of blue, obviously I'm going to use red here. In this one I used the 6mm round indigo glass pearl beads. Let me get it up here so you can see it. And I used the clear 6 by 5.5mm pentagon faceted round beads, and they're just so pretty. I can't stand it, those clear ones there in the middle. And I used some 11/0 galvanized silver seed beads and some 15/0 galvanized silver seed beads, and then I used these little 2mm fire polish beads that I had in my stash here. They're called Iris Blue, to embellish down the center and up the sides of the bracelet here. And I used one of the silver toggle clasps that came in the bag. This one I'm going to use these. Let me find them on my list here. These 6mm round red imitation opalite beads, and I'm using the same 6 by 5.5mm clear pentagon beads, and I'm using one of the gold toggle clasps that came in the box, and I've got some 2mm fire polish beads. These are the color on these are Siam Ruby, and I'm going to use some 11/0 Miyuki galvanized gold, Durcoat galvanized gold seed beads, and some 15/0 Miyuki galvanized gold seed beads. And I've got a size 12 beading needle because I'm going to be doing a lot of embellishing and going through these beads a lot. And I'm using my 6-pound fire line in the crystal in the white color because I'm going to be going through those clear pentagon beads, and I don't want my smoke to show through there. I usually always use smoke, but it would show through the clear beads, so I'm going to use my white ones here. And I have my white thread, and I have my scissors to cut my fire line, and my chain nose pliers to flatten the thread so I can get it through the needle. And of course I'll be using that's all I'll be using. I started to say I'll use my chain nose pliers and my bent chain nose pliers to put my clasp on it then, but I'm going to sew it directly to the bracelet like I did this one. This one came out a little bit longer than I usually make them. It came out to be, it's 8 inches exactly, which is fine because I sell my jewelry and I always try to make a variety of different sizes. And you know, some people like to have a bracelet that's fairly tight against the wrist, and then some people want it to be pretty loose. So I try to make a variety of sizes, but this time I'm going to leave off 1 unit, so I'm going to make this one a little bit shorter than this blue one here that I've made. And I think that's everything, so hold on and let me get some of my beads poured out and I'll be back. Okay, I've got some of my beads out here now, and I've got my needle threaded. I have a stop bead on here, and I'm leaving about a 6-inch tail there, just enough to put a needle on and sew in later. I'm not going to need to leave a long piece of thread to put my clasp on with later because I'm going to be going up and down this bracelet several times. And I would just start with whatever's a comfortable length of thread because you're more than likely going to have to add thread before you're done with this. So I'm going to pick up one of my red beads, an 11-0, another red bead, an 11-0, one of my clear beads, an 11-0, and another red bead, and another 11-0. So I've got, zoom in here a little bit. I've got 3 of my red beads and 1 of my clear beads with 11-0s between all the beads. Bring it all down here, and I'm going to sew around all the beads again. And if you're wondering why I didn't pick up 3 red beads and a clear bead, why I did like 2 red beads, a clear bead, and 1 red bead, it's just because I want my tail. I'm going to do my next unit out of this clear bead, and I wanted my tail to be opposite of the bead that I'm going to be sewing my next unit with. So I'm going to go around all these again. I mean, you can pick up all 3 red beads and then your clear bead if you want to, but if you do that, your tail is going to be coming out right about here, and it kind of gets in the way when you're trying to sew your next unit. So I'm going to go around here until I'm back around here to where my stop bead is. And now I'm going to take my stop bead off, and I'm going to tie this into a knot. And I don't often tie knots when I'm doing bead weaving because they tend to get in my way. They slip down into the bead and get in my way when I'm trying to go back through them. But these beads are big enough that I don't think that'll be a problem. And I want this first unit to be good and tight, so I'm going to tie a knot. And then I'm going to turn around and tie a knot the other way. Get that good and tight. And now I'm going to see which way I'm coming out here. I'm going to go through this red bead and my 11-0 and this red bead and my 11-0. And I'm going to come out my clear bead here, just the clear bead, not the 11-0. Now I need to make another right angle weave unit. I'm going to be sharing this bead here, so I only need 3 more beads. So I'm always going to pick up an 11-0 before and after every bead. So I'm going to pick up an 11-0, a red bead, an 11-0, a red bead, an 11-0, a red bead, and an 11-0. I can get it on my needle here. Okay. Now I'm coming out the bottom of this clear bead. I'm going to go in the top of it. Just circle around. Now I'm going to go around all these beads again. All the 11-0s and the red beads. And I'm sew till I'm coming out this red bead down here on the end so I can make my next unit. I'm coming out just the red bead there. Now the way I've got this configured, every other unit's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to pick up an 11-0, a red bead, an 11-0, my clear bead, an 11-0, a red bead, and an 11-0. So now the next time I'll be picking up 3 red beads, and then the next time I'll be picking up this sequence of beads, 2 red beads with a clear bead in between. So I'm coming out the top of this red bead, I'm going to go on the bottom. Now I'm going to go around all the beads again. Try to keep my tension tight so that my beads are not loose, and with these bigger beads it can be loose if you don't keep good tight tension. Of course, I'm going to be going up and down this bracelet a lot anyway, so probably doesn't really, it'll tighten up as I go anyway. But now I'm going to sew till I'm coming out this clear bead down here on the end again. I'm coming out just the clear bead. Now this time I'm going to pick up 3 red beads. So I'm going to pick up an 11-0, red bead, 11-0, red bead, 11-0, red bead, and then 11-0. And I'm coming out the top. I'm going to go on the bottom. I'll sew around all the beads again. I'm going to sew till I'm coming out this red bead on the end here so I can make my next unit. Now this time I'm going to pick up an 11-0, a red bead, an 11-0, one of my clear beads, an 11-0, a red bead, and an 11-0. Coming out the top, I'm going to go in the bottom. And I'm going to sew around all those beads again. And I'm just going to do that. And then this next unit, I'll do 3 red beads. And the next one, I'll do a red bead, clear bead, red bead. And I'm going to do that all the way down until I get the length that I want. And then when I get that done, I'll be back. Okay, I've got my length here. And this one's quite a bit shorter than this other one I made. And now I'm going to put on one side of my clasp here. So I'm going to pick up 4 of my 11-0s. And I've got my little 2mm fire polish beads here. I'm going to pick up one of these. Now, you don't have to use a 2mm fire polish bead. You could probably use an 8/0 here where I'm using the 2mm fire polish beads. I just had these and I thought they went well with these red beads, so that's why I'm using them. But I'm sure an 8/0 would work fine here. And I'm going to pick up another 11-0. And I'm going to go through the loop of my the bar of my toggle here. And now I'm going to come down, I'm going to go back through this 11-0, the fire polish bead and the 11-0 under the fire polish bead. Pull my thread through, tighten it up there. Now I'm going to pick up 3 more 11-0s. And I'm going to go in this side. I started out coming out this side of this red bead. I'm going to go in this side of the red bead. Now I'm going to go back up these 3 11-0s and the 11-0 under the fire polish bead, the fire polish bead and the 11-0 above the fire polish bead. You don't have to go through them all at once. If you can't, you can do it one at a time, but I managed to get through them all at once. So now I'm going to go through, back through the loop of my toggle. And now I'm going to figure out which side I'm coming out here. I'm going to go down, back down the 11-0, above the fire polish bead, back into the fire polish bead, back into the 11-0 under the fire polish bead. Drop the whole thing like I usually do. Now I'm going to go down the 3 11-0s on this side. Now this time, that was twice around my, and I always go 3 times around when I'm attaching my clasp. That was twice around. Now this time, instead of going around it like I did that time, I'm going to pick up 2 11-0s. I'm going to go down into this 11-0, this red bead, that's just to kind of fill that gap up there. I'm going to go into this 11-0 under the red bead, into this clear bead, I'm going to go up this 11-0, the red bead, this 11-0 above that red bead, I'm going to pick up 2 more 11-0s. I'm going to go up these 3 beads on this side, and now I'm going to go around my toggle again. I'm going in the 11-0 under the fire polish, and the 11-0 above the fire polish. Back through my toggle. Back down the 11-0 above the fire polish, the fire polish bead, 11-0 under the fire polish bead. Be careful here and not get hooked around my toggle bar. Now I'm going to go down these 3 11-0s. I'm going to go down through these 2 11-0s, or these, the 2 11-0s I added, and then the 11-0 that was already there on the other side of that red one, back through the red one, and through the 11-0 on the other side of the red one. That's got that side of my clasp on. Now, what I did different in this one I just did 3 11/0s, the 2mm, and I didn't put an 11/0 on either side of the 2mm. And it's a little bit, my bar will go through my toggle, but it's not easy to get it through. I mean, it'll go through well enough, but I wanted to leave a little extra room on this bracelet for my toggle bar to go through, so I did it a little bit different. So hold on, and I'll get ready to do the embellishments down the side. I'm going to go back and check. I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention. I'm not sure I was in frame there, so hold on, let me check. I'll be back. Okay, I wandered out of frame a few times there, but I think I was mostly in frame well enough, and I'll put the other side of the toggle on the same way I did this one, so I'll show it again in case it was hard to see. So now I'm coming out of this gold 11/0 under this red bead here. I'm going to pick up one of my 2mm beads and just go through this 11/0, the red bead, and this 11/0 on the other side of that red bead. And I can't seem to get through all 3 of them, so I'm just going to do those 2. And now I'm going to go through this 11/0. And this will probably shrink it up a little bit as you go down through here. You might lose a little bit of length here when you're putting these in here, because you're pulling them through there and tightening it up a little bit. Now I'm just going to pick up another of my 2mm fire polish beads. Coming out that 11/0, I'm going to go into this 11/0, the red bead, and this 11/0. Pick up another fire polish bead. Coming out of this 11/0, I'm going to go into this 11/0, the red bead, and this 11/0. And I'm just going to do that all the way down this side until I get to the other end, and then I'll put the clasp on the other end. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got all my little 2mm fire polish beads down this side, and I'm coming out of this 11/0 here where I put in my last one. Now I'm going to go through this red bead here, and I'm going to put on my other side of my toggle clasp. So I'm going to pick up 4 11/0s, one of my fire polish beads, one more 11/0, and my toggle ring. Go through the loop of my toggle ring. Now I'm going to go back down the 11/0, the fire polish, and the 11/0 under the fire polish. Make sure to tighten it up so there's no thread showing there. Now I'm going to pick up 3 more 11/0s. And I was coming out of this side of the red bead. I'm going to come in this side of the red bead. And I put my 11/0s up, and I realized I didn't leave enough out. I need a few more. So now I'm going to go back up these 3 11/0s, that 11/0 under the fire polish bead. I'm going to go back into the fire polish bead, the 11/0 above the fire polish bead, back through my toggle. Now I'm going to back down the 11/0 above the fire polish bead, the fire polish bead, and the 11/0 under the fire polish bead. I'm going to go back down these 3 11/0s. Now that was twice around my toggle, so now I'm going to pick up 2 11/0s. Go into this 11-0 just to fill in this gap here. The red bead, the 11-0 under the red bead, and I'm trying not to go into that fire polish that's in there. Now I'm going to go back through my clear bead. I'm going to go up the 11-0, the red bead, and the 11-0 above the red bead. Pick up 2 more 11-0s. I'm going to go up these 3 11-0s. The 11-0 under the fire polish bead. And I'm going to go around all this again, and I'm going to come back out, and when I come back out, I'm going to be coming out this 11-0 under this red bead on this side so I can do my embellishments down this side. So when I get down here, I'll be back. Okay, I went back around my toggle now, and I've got this, I went back around one more time, and I've got this side of my toggle on now. So now I'm just going to do the same thing down this side. I'm going to pick up a fire polish bead. I can get one on my needle. I'm coming out this 11-0. I'm going to go into this 11-0, the red bead, and the 11-0 under the red bead. Just make sure that 2mm pops in there between those 11-0s. Now I'm going to pick up another fire polish bead. Coming out of that 11-0, I'm going to go into this 11-0, the red bead, and the 11-0 under that red bead. Make sure my fire polish bead goes in there. Might have to tug a little on this side because it's getting a little bit tight. Pick up another fire polish bead. Go into the 11-0, the red bead, the 11-0 under the red bead. Make sure your bead pops in there like that. Now I'm going to do that all the way down this side, and then when I come back, we'll do the embellishment on the top. I'll be back. Okay, I've got all my embellishments done down both sides now. And I'm coming out of this 11-0 here where I put my last 2mm in there. Now I'm going to go across this red bead here. And now I've got my 15-0s out here. I'm going to pick up 4 15-0s. One of my fire polish beads. And 4 15-0s. I'm coming out this side of this red bead. I'm going to go diagonally into this side of this clear bead. Make sure not to get caught around my toggle bar down there. And lay that little embellishment across the beads there diagonally. Get my thread out of the way so y'all can see what I'm doing, and I've got caught up here or something. There we go. Now pick up 4 more 15-0s. One of my fire polish beads. Like I said, you could probably use an 8-0 here if you want to, or you could just use all seed beads if you want to. All 15-0s. Pick up 4 more 15-0s. I'm coming out the bottom of this clear bead. I'm going to go diagonally and then go into the top of this red bead. Bring my embellishment over there, over the top diagonally there. And I'm going to pick up 4 more 15 O's. One of my fire polish beads. 4 more 15 O's. I'm coming out the bottom of this red bead. I'm going to go diagonally and go into the top of this clear bead. So that's going to be my embellishment down the center. So I'm just going to keep doing that until I get done, and then I'll just end off my thread by doing 3 half-inch knots, and when I come back we'll see what I've got. So I'll be back. Okay, there's my bracelets all done. This one came to exactly 8 inches, and this one is just almost 7.5 inches. And like I said, I did the clasp. I added a couple of extra beads to the clasp on this one, and the toggle bar goes through a whole lot easier than it does on that blue one. I mean, the blue one will go through. It just is a little bit harder. So that's what it looks like there, with all the embellishments and everything. These are just some really, really beautiful beads. And like I said, these bags sell out really, really quickly. So if you think you might want to get one in the future, I would definitely encourage you to go to her website and sign up for her email notifications so that you'll be notified when she releases her next bag. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry, and I also sell gift cards and some extra beads that I have. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope you all have a great day. Take care.